The XRP rich list just arrived, and it tells you that you can own just a little bit of XRP and become a multi-millionaire as a result. Well, in today's video, we are laying it down exactly for you. You're about to find out how you can be a part of the XRP rich list very easily. Guys, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where we are actually partnering with Liable to give every single person watching today's video up to $100 free for you to buy some more XRP with. And so, if you want to get that juicy bonus, and this goes for every single person watching, all you have to do is like the video, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, sign up on Liable using my link in the description and do a transaction. This could be any amount, so it can be like a $1 transaction, and you'd be able to get yourself up to $100 for you to buy some more XRP with. So again, take advantage of this golden opportunity, and with that being said, let's get right into the video. Okay, now let's start off with marking the lines. XRP is currently priced at $2.23, and massive volume has soared. But take a look at this right here. Let's click on XRP, and you can clearly see that it's up 8% in the last 24 hours. The volume is up a whopping 60%. That is insane. At about $8.49 billion. Now, obviously, this is going to continue to increase as we get closer and closer to December 5th, as we have told you. Because on December 5th, over $650 trillion may actually unlock onto the XRP ledger. And it's all happening via the Real token, which is actually a project built entirely on the XRP ledger and uses the XRP ledger technology. So again, it's going to be massive. And people that own Real token, which is on the XRPL, are also going to make millions of dollars. Now again, let's get into the XRP rich list, because this is a very big deal. First off, it's important to highlight that the amount of wallets are exponentially growing on the XRP ledger. For example, right now there's about 7.3 million XRP holders. So 7.3 million wallets that are basically holding XRP, which is actually a very big deal. The current price of XRP is sitting at about $2.23. There's about 65 million XRP not in escrow, or 65 billion XRP not in escrow, and there's about 99 billion XRP total. But here comes the moment. Here comes the moment you guys all have been waiting for, the XRP rich list. Now, it's very important to understand that to be in the very low percentages, you need to own a lot more XRP. But starting off, let's talk about the averages here and how many people actually are in those ranges. Now again, to be in the top 6 XRP holders, you need to have about 8.8 million XRP, which is insane. But that doesn't mean that you can't be part of the top 1% or the 0.1% of XRP holders. Let's take a look at that, for example. The percentages of accounts with balance starting with, let's say, 2,000, there's about 10% of people, 10% of all XRP holders own about 2,000 XRP or 2.3 thousand XRP, meaning that if you want to be in the top 10%, you only need about 2.3 thousand XRP, which is actually not that much. Now, of course, this increases as you decide you want to be of a more rarity class. For example, you want to be in the top 5%. Well, now you need to have about 8,000 XRP. Now, also understand that about the amount of people that own 8,000 XRP are about 366,000 people. And one thing that is extremely important to know, and that they don't tell you at all, is the fact that the less people you have, the more likely you are to become a millionaire and make a lot of money off of XRP. Because if, let's say you're in the top 10%, you need 731,000 people to be rich before you are to be rich, rather than if you are, for example, the top 0.01% and you'll need about 700 people. The difference is who becomes rich. The earlier you are, the less people you are at your level, the higher chance you are going to be rich. But let's move forward. To be in the top 4%, which is about 292,000 people, you need to own about 10,000 XRP, or about 10.3 thousand XRP. To be in the top 3%, you now need to own 15,000 XRP, but in return, there's only about 219,000 people that have about 15,000 XRP. Now it gets better, because now if you want to be part of the top 2%, you need a lot more XRP. So you need about 23,000 XRP, about $50,000 to $60,000. And Now you're in the top 2% though. So there are only about 146,000 people that are waiting next to you. Now again, a big turn is also to be taken right now when you jump from 2% to the top 1%, which is a massive, massive deal. If you want to be in the top 1% of XRP holders, then you need to own a whopping 50,000 XRP. 50,000 XRP. And there's about only 70,000 people that actually own about 50,000 XRP, and that would put you in the top 1%. Now, if you want to go crazier and you want to be a lot more unique, you want to be a lot more special, you want to get richer a lot quicker, then now you need to get into underneath 1%. If you want to be in the top 0.5%, 0.5% of all of the XRP holders, meaning you're 0.5% of away of global wealth, generational wealth, millions of dollars, well then in that case, you need about 89,000 XRP, about 90,000 to be exact, 90,000 XRP. To be in the top 0.2%, now you need about 200,000 XRP, 200,000 XRP. I mean, at that point, you have already a couple hundred grand, so you're not worried because, again, if you're willing to invest $300,000-$400,000 more than that, probably $400,000 to $500,000 in XRP, you probably have some cash on the sideline, so you shouldn't be worried about you. But, I mean, you're talking about 14,000. If you want to be in the top 0.1%, 1%, 0.1%, you need about 300,000 XRP, 300,000 XRP, and you're now in a 0.1% of all of the XRP holders. And if you want to be the craziest, the best, the most XRP, the richest XRP holders, you need 4 million XRP. That's about $9-10 million invested in XRP, and you're now in the 100% of an XRP holder, and there's only 732 people that are like you. Now, if you don't have that much money and you still want to make a lot of money and become rich and be part of a project that is actually going to make millionaires, potentially going from 3 cents to $65,000, then you got to check out this one. RealFi, a massive institution that allows you to buy real estate on the XRP ledger, is officially going to list the real token on December 5th on a major centralized exchange. We're talking about unlocking $5 billion in daily transaction volume, 40 million users, and it's all happening on the XRP ledger. Real token is making millionaires overnight, and it's going to do that by December 5th. Take a look at this right here. Very strong support, very low resistance. This is the lowest possible price you're ever going to see the real token. And if you get it now, you can get in very early, like people that got into Bitcoin at $1 and it's skyrocketing to $120,000. Keep in mind, guys, keep this in mind. Real token went from 1/100 of a penny to about 3 cents. So this is a big deal. People made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now on December 5th, it could do something crazier. It could literally go from 3 cents to $65,000 because there's so much demand and not enough supply. We're talking of a max supply of 1 billion, phase 1 supply is 22 million. There's not enough supply to go around yet. The demand is going to be massive as you're talking about a $650 trillion market unlocking directly instantaneously through the real token. Imagine if $100,000 in daily transaction volume goes into real token right now. Now, real token is very, very early. We're talking about 3,000 holders or 4,000 holders. Not a lot. But imagine if $100,000 in daily transaction volume enters right now into the real token, the price would be $100 and not $1,000 because, again, there's not enough supply, there's massive demand. It would be $100. $10,000 right now invested into real token would cause the price to literally shoot up. It would skyrocket. This is how new this project is. But then you got to look at the actual technology behind it. Solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem, real-world assets built on the XRP ledger, backed by a massive team that is rumored to be partnering with Ripple. I mean, this is huge. It's generational wealth, and this is why you're getting a lot of experts and analysts literally saying this thing is going to soar. Literally saying that the real token is going to hit $65,000. It sounds crazy, and it probably is crazy, but the truth is it could actually happen, and it could happen as quickly as December 5th, where the price soars. And even if the price doesn't hit $60,000, I mean, that's insane. It's going to hit $200, $300, $400. 3 cents to $400, that's millions being made. $10,000 would literally make you potentially a millionaire. I mean, it is crazy the scale of money that could potentially be made through something like a project like XRP, but really the scale of something like real token. You got to understand this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and this is why we say always do your own research. It's not financial advisor. I'm not financial advisor. So not financial advisor. Do your own research because you get these once in a lifetime opportunities that don't ever come back. And if you look at this overview, look, this project is still very early, about 3 months old, but there's only about 3.7 thousand holders. That is nothing. On December 5th, this is going to change. On December 5th, we're getting globalized adoption. The massive global centralized exchange listing is going to make Real Token a lot easier to purchase, and it's going to make the Real Token price soar as a result. Right now, Real Token is complicated to buy. It's on the XRP ledger. Not many people know how to use Exum. Not many people know how to use, anything. Nobody knows this exchange, in fact, X Magnetic. Nobody knows these XRP ledger exchanges. Nobody knows how to use the wallets. People do, but it's very complicated. But you gotta understand, Bitcoin, when Bitcoin is $1, was very complicated. Nobody knew how to buy Bitcoin. And this is what people that bought Bitcoin and did this extra steps made millions of dollars. Because Bitcoin ended up getting listed. And once Bitcoin went on stage and had easy accessibility, the price soared. The same thing is happening, except it's a lot easier than when Bitcoin was complicated and when Bitcoin is $1. This is another one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that will never come back. And you watching this video have seen this opportunity right in front of your eyes, and you can take action. You can do your research. All I'm saying, I'm not saying buy. I'm saying do your research, make your own decision, but do your research. Don't be lazy. Look into it. Make your own decision after that, because again, this is a big deal, and it's a big deal that could that could create wealth for generations of a project. This project could literally be in the top 10 world cryptocurrencies alongside XRP. We're talking about a project that's solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem that is backed by a massive institution or multi-trillion-dollar institution that allows you to buy real estate using the Real Token and using the XRP ledger, and they're rumored to partner with Ripple. I mean, there's a lot of big deal things happening. And again, you're seeing it right in front of your eyes, so it's an opportunity for you to actually look into and potentially, if you want to take action on. Guys, the whole deal is not to just look, not just do research, but if your research concludes to, you should take action, then take action. And so with that being said, I'm going to conclude the video here. I'm going to be leaving all the links down below in the description. Everything I'll be leaving down below in the description. This is a very big deal, guys. You can clearly see this is a very big deal. I mean, look at this. There are movements happening. People are looking at the Real Token. People are bullish on the Real Token. And we're talking about we are currently at an all-time high. But you got to understand, we are only just getting started, because if you take a look, they've just announced a centralized exchange listing on December 5th. And look at this. Imagine what's about to happen on December 5th. If we are this high right here, imagine. We are looking at, again, I mean, I got myself a bag, but there's a lot of rumors. Like, I'm reading these XRP analysts, and they're saying thousands of dollars for Real Token. It's insane, but it's very bullish, and this is why you gotta get yourself some research done, because I got a bag, and I know a lot of other people got a bag. So again, I'm gonna be leaving all links down below in the description. I'm very freaking bullish on this. I mean, the market is about to create millionaires. With that being said, guys, I'll see you next time, and peace.